Okay.
Yay! Awesome. So 9th of August, and is this number 7 or 8 or
I don't know what we're up to.
9 or something? That's so cool.
So for those of you who don't know what Eat and Greet is, we meet every Tuesday for 2016 anyway, at 12:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time and have some lunch. I've usually got Vietnamese food at Kirsty's house.
Big one down.
Yeah. And we greet with one of the amazing entrepreneurs from the Smart Chicks community, don't we?
So, we just get to know a little bit more about them, a little bit about where they've come from, what their goals and what their vision is, and share them with everyone in the community.
So, over to you, Claire.
Hi, everybody.
We're very excited to join with you, Claire, especially because we've had some lovely little things happening in the back end, haven't we, this last week or so?
We sure have.
That is super exciting as well. So how about we start off with, who's Claire? So give us a little bit about how you got to where you are and what you've done, and, a bit about, that past life stuff, that job thing. And
yeah, the J-O-B, that J word, that dirty J word.
Yeah.
This is my first child. This is Zev. Say hi.
Hi.
How's Bill? Here now. All right, keep it nice and quiet if you're gonna stay out here, okay? Thank you. In a minute. Sorry, everybody. So this is my now. So my history, I've been in business management in one form or another since I was about 19. I started in retail when I was 14 and started managing my first store when I was 19. My assistant manager was 58, so she was almost 3 times my age. So that was a bit of a baptism of fire, but it was fine. And then... So, yes, I worked sort of all over the place in retail and hospitality when I was a bit younger, including I worked for Sports Girl in one of their big stores in Sydney. I was a manager in The Gap in London in their big flagship European store, which was pretty amazing. And then when I came back to Australia, I worked for Country Road. So I worked for 3 different stores there, including I got up to sort of regional management sort of levels. So the last place I was at their flagship store in the city, and I managed the 3 stores and all that sort of thing. So it was kind of... between the 3, about an $11 million turnover business, so kind of that quite high level business management. And I guess the best thing about doing that sort of thing was that they were quite different to a lot of retailers in that we had a lot of autonomy, we had a lot of transparency with the actual management and operations and running of the business and that sort of thing. And all 3 of those big retailers that I worked for were quite similar with their management, which was awesome. Just to be exposed to that level of kind of operations and turnover. I mean, the Gap store that I worked at had £1 million day.
Oh dear, did you sit on Carla?
Hang on, it just flicked around.
You move over a bit, Carla, there.
I'm going to mute Anna.
Hang on.
Just someone say my name.
Yeah, do you want to just mute yourself, because it actually just flicked over to you as the speaker?
Oh, how do I do that?
Through remotes.
Sorry,
yeah, cool. So after that, I left retail at the end of 2010 and went to India for 3 months on a bit of a, self-discovery excursion, as you do. Grab the other one as well, please. Came back and I studied massage, and then I was working as a massage therapist for a physio. And I started my own business then. So that was my sort of first foray into having my own business in about 2011-ish, I think that was. And then I decided that was, pretty physically demanding, and it wasn't what I wanted to do full-time, and I couldn't really afford to do it full-time as well. So I decided I wanted to sort of hone in on the HR side of things and recruitment and that sort of thing that I'd done a lot of in retail, but did the sort of more specialist management side of things. So I went and worked for a management consulting place. I did recruitment for 6 months and absolutely hated it. And then had a bit of a breakdown and got drunk with my boss and told her I was going to leave because I was so miserable. And she ended up saying, right, well, we're going to make you into a consultant anyway. So I was a consultant for about a month, and I started doing like the office management and the business management, and one thing led to another, and I had about 5 or 6 different positions with them, which ended up being the business and operations and HR manager before I had my second one. So as I often tended to do, I sort of just kept accidentally falling into management positions, and that's kind of my history in a nutshell.
So you're
work-wise.
very good at that though, like great with seeing things from a bigger picture and then being able to manage the people within that so that the right needs. So that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It was it's I guess a funny thing, my mum, when I was in high school, I always wanted to be an actress. I was going to go to NIDA and become rich and famous and, you know, an actress, whatever. And mum was always very supportive of that, but she also said, you're also very entrepreneurial. Why don't you go and do a business degree or something? And I was like, boring. Aren't business people just, you know, fat old men sitting around a boardroom and you're writing on charts and that sort of thing? I didn't really get the whole business thing. But accidentally, as I said, I kept falling into business management roles kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely just a thing for me that I love. And
I love it. When not everybody here is always going to be a mum that's going to look, but when we go through the becoming a mum and then sort of coming out the other side of that, so many of us go into something that's quite different to even what we've done before. And like you said, into the massage and kind of got into all of that, but we open our mind to a wider range of things, and then suddenly those skills that we've actually got, that we got in this past life, then how we can apply it within the business world. So it's very cool.
Exactly. Very interesting you say that, actually. And I've had this similar conversation with so many people in the last probably, I guess, 8 weeks or so, a lot of the one-on-one stuff that I've been doing. And I realized that it's a bit of a thing. I thought it was just a thing for me, but I guess it's a thing for everyone, where when I was working in massage, I was really embarrassed to tell my clients and people that were in the massage world that I was also in this like high management corporate role. And in the high management corporate role, I was really afraid to tell people that I was also a massage therapist. And I felt like no one was going to take me seriously in either position if they knew that there was this other half of me. So I kind of kept them really separate. But I've had this conversation, like I said, with so many people who either do like something that's really alternative or kind of really woo-woo or spiritual or whatever now, but they've come from these really crazy high-level corporate roles, and it's the same thing. They're like, oh, I don't want to blah, blah. But when you actually go through, I'm actually developing 2 courses at the moment, one of which I'll talk about in a minute, but the other one is probably towards the end of the year, and it's all about that kind of doing your, like bringing all of you to the table, and the whole reason that you're good at doing what you're doing now is because of what's happened in the past. Whether or not you use those exact skills, it's all transferable. So one of my other businesses, and something I still do a little bit now, which you know, is the CV and job coaching and that sort of thing. So that's kind of right. So that's kind of like, well, that's
talking to someone the other day about someone that I had been connecting with that I knew that did that, and I forgot that you do it. So yes.
I try not to tell anyone, to be honest, because it's not really what I want to be doing anymore, but it's, you know, it's an easy one for me and I do really love it. And when I'm not doing it, I kind of miss that whole job coaching stuff.
Yeah, I need to connect a coaching session for her, and then she was like, oh yeah, and we came out with, I need to get this done. So anyway.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so yeah, in that sense, I think it's really interesting to go, well, actually, I did massage because I'm interested in alternative therapies, and I love that one-on-one connection with people, and I loved the time when, you know, I'm massaging someone and they've got their face in the you know, massage table hole, and they just tell you stuff. They just feel like there's this, I guess, safe, vulnerable thing. I don't know, that's just weird way to think, but you know, I had a couple of clients who would like either start crying as soon as they got on the table, or, you know, they'd get to the point where as soon as the door was shut, they'd just let loose, or, you know, and I'm the sort of person, I get a massage, I don't want to talk to anyone, I just want to enjoy the massage. I hate talking when I'm having a massage, but 80% of people that I massaged were not like that. They just wanted to yabba, like, and it was a really connecting, informative, and just a really beautiful sort of spiritual thing that I really like to do. But then on the other hand, I love systems, and I love just getting stuck into whatever I'm working on the computer and not be bothered and not have to talk to anyone and kind of just do that sort of thing. So yeah, so I guess I'm sort of bringing all of that together, and that's what it's all about with this second course that I'm developing. So yeah, it's all so exciting.
I think almost the connection of those two things is the magic ingredient. You've got the magic.
Yeah.
I think, because I sort of think the same. Like, I did science and everything was, you know, straight, you know, managerial stuff. And then the first I had was a Hire for Baby franchise, and I worked in this baby world, which I loved. So, but it was total opposite to me. So I know, I think that there's something in that, and that's what Miriam with all her stuff.
Yeah.
That real left, right brain.
So tell us, obviously, you've got this melting pot of awesome skills.
Yes.
back then, way back, you know, the big skills.
Whoa. It wasn't that far back.
5 years is a long time in entrepreneurial life, Claire.
That's so true. So true.
But obviously it's brought you to where you are now. So you've got a service that you provide to people now as your core service. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So this is something that I'm still sort of articulating, and it changes a little bit, although I feel like I'm settling into a bit more of a space that feels right and it fits, and it's of service and that sort of thing, and I don't feel guilty about making money from it and that sort of thing, which is kind of a bit of a mix of okay, I'll go back a little bit further. There's, like, I thought when I first started, I thought I wanted to do operations management and really technical stuff and kind of like high level VA, kind of that sort of thing. And then I tried that for a while and realized that wasn't a great fit, and I wasn't as technical as I thought I was, and it just felt a bit boring, and it wasn't exactly what I was trying to be doing, that sort of thing. And something, when I first started, I was going to call my business Ord plus Bow, as in order and beauty, that sort of thing. So now that I'm kind of going through this process again, in Tash Corbin's Takeoff again, I think it's about the fourth time I've gone through it now, but I've got so much more clarity because I've tried things and tested it, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I was talking about it the other day, she was like, yeah, you're bringing like style and substance. So it looks pretty and it feels nice and it's beautifully presented and it's easy to read and all that sort of stuff. But it's also, there's a really good message and there's a lot of really juicy content. And I also have the baby massage training online course. So she used that as an example. Like, it looks beautiful from the outside, but it's also creating this beautiful bond between parent and child, or carer and child, that sort of thing. So it's kind of the style and substance, which for me is the order and beauty. So it's got this process and order and organization, but there's also the beauty in terms of what it actually aesthetically looks like, but also in how it feels for the person who's doing it and receiving it and that sort of thing. So I guess to answer your question, it's kind of a bit of productivity and planning and business coaching, but also that kind of mentoring from that kind of higher level and that kind of confidence building for people who are maybe thinking about getting into business, or they've been in business for a while but they've got so many different ideas that it's just overwhelming and they don't know where to start, or they've been in business for a long time. And a lot of people I'm working with have been in business for a long time and they're trying to make a change, like they're going from clinical to online or something, but they've got this shiny object syndrome. So they've downloaded 50 different apps and they've started doing 50 different things, and then they've gone, oh my God, I've lost my income because I've focused on this and I've gotten myself all tangled up and I haven't focused on the old stuff, so I've got no income and I don't know where I'm going and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of untangling all of that sort of thing a bit as well, just to be completely inarticulate. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense, because
okay.
we're attracted to you.
Yeah.
Yay!
and
That's
obviously
what we like doing.
helping with the up leveling as well. So those that have been involved but are maybe at a bit of a glass ceiling, that they need to then sort of smash that they
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of them probably either not quite ready for a VA in terms of either income and being able to justify paying a full-time VA or a part-time VA, and or they don't know what they can outsource, so they don't have the systems and processes already set up so that it's, you know, easy to duplicate. So it's kind of just doing like a short-term piece to get everything together, get organized, get a plan, get some systems and processes that are easy and effective, and not just making things that don't really need to be done easier, but actually working out what does need to be done and making those things easier. So that then when they are ready and they are, you know, they've up-leveled and they're actually getting the rewards from that, then they can just easily get someone to help them with it, whether it's me or someone else. But it's, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, I've never really said this out loud, but I'm a list maker. I love lists. I write a list of all the lists that I want to write. Like, that's how listy I am.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a bigger picture of that, I suppose, in some ways, with the list making and just kind of stepping things out a bit more. So like I said, if you tell me where you need to get, I'll work out how to get there. You know, it's kind of like a project management, project coordination. If there's a big picture, we'll just break it down and make it easy to know what to do when you wake up tomorrow morning and next week and the week after that, rather than going, oh my God, I've got 15,000 things I want to do, so I'm just going to go to Facebook and spend 2 hours doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guilty.
into procrastination, overwhelm mode.
Yeah.
I know that for us, like the biggest turning point, I think for us was doing exactly what you're talking about. We didn't know you then.
No.
But we did a business unpack, and it really helped us to just get a bit of a grasp on vision of what you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
actually almost drew out a picture of what it could look like, and we went, oh, wow.
And then we picked
Look at
and
that.
chose what we decided to go
Which
with.
bits to go with, and the other bits will all come, but it's sort of, well, let's just bite on the pieces and go.
Yeah, that's it. And it's really hard. Like when you start a business and you've kind of got some ideas, and then you try some stuff out and you go, oh no, that's not actually where I want to go. So you try something else, and then you get these, I don't know, like I feel like I went through this phase of about 3 or 4 weeks, probably a month and a half ago, of just, I don't know what was going on in the atmosphere, but I was just getting these big, awesome ideas. Like I was plotting out a whole course, and I've got 3 of them, and I know what's happening each week for each of them, and I know what the slides are going to look like, and I know what sort of people I want. It just all came to me in big sort of spurts over the 3 weeks. And then I had this week of overwhelm going, oh my God, how am I going to get all this done?
Yeah.
These are all good, and I know that I can do all of them, and I know that they're all going to take me roughly the same amount of time and effort, and they're all really valuable. Where do I start? So I did nothing for a week, and I had this freak out of going, oh, here I go again. I'm back in overwhelm. Great. But actually, you know, now that I've again sort of just jotted it down, and I've got some really good systems now that I use to do that I can replicate, and, you know, my shiny object syndrome just, you know, goes on overdrive a little bit. And, you know, but just sort of stepping that out and going, okay, these are all important to me, and they're all going to get done.
Yeah.
But the thing that is, you know, energetically, and Lisa Murray talks a lot about what's drawing you energetically and that sort of thing. So there's one program, that one I was telling you about before, that I think I can't wait to do that, but it's not quite ready yet. But this other one that I'm doing, which I'll talk about in a minute, is definitely something that I can literally just chuck out, and it's on message for where I'm at the moment, and where I know some of my people are at the moment. So yeah, I guess it's just sort of having that confidence to go into your intuition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Claire. So we know that people are lining up to talk to you and chat to you, right? We know that. Tell us, what are the sort of zone of genius golden nuggets that you really, really think provide the best value to the people that you work with? Like, why are they there? Why are they constantly coming back to you?
Yeah. It's a very good question, and I've had a bit of a trail of referrals in the last couple of weeks, so I'll maybe just sort of tap into that, what's happened with that.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing that I think people get from working with me is that and this is also a bit of a new revelation, something that I've worked out in only the last couple of weeks, is that when I go into any situation, whether it's a one-on-one or a group or any sort of situation, people often say to me, oh, you're shy or whatever, or and they mention that I'm shy, and I'm always really surprised to hear that, because I don't think I'm shy at all. I think I'm quite assertive, and I'm quite bubbly, and once people know me, like I tell them I'm an introvert, and they're like, no, you're not an introvert, you talk too much, or you're too out there, or you're too la la la. But I am actually an introvert, but I'm not anyway. But what I sort of do is I go in and I check it out, and I get the lay of the land, and I work out where I might fit in and where everyone else fits in, and who's who in the zoo, and, you know, that sort of, like, you know, what's my connector to this sort of thing, and kind of going that way. So I think in a one-on-one session it's sort of similar. So I ask a heap of questions, and I do, like, depending on how much time and what sort of package I'm doing and that sort of thing, it's all a bit about that information gathering, but also letting people just talk. Like, there's that big thing when you sort of start talking to someone, especially when it's a coach or whatever, you don't want to hear everything they've got to say first. You kind of just need to get stuff off your chest and feel like you're being heard and understood. So I think that's probably one of the big things. But then once I've asked the questions and got a really good picture, which has actually, like, helped my client or helped the other person get clear in their head, that's a really clarifying kind of moment as well. But then to go into the next part and go, okay, well, like, do that whole prioritizing and the planning thing so that it feels doable and it doesn't feel like you've just been given an extra set of work to do, sort of thing. So I think that's probably the biggest thing for me, that it feels supported and easy. and that sort of thing. That was pretty inarticulate, but yeah, I think it's that kind of the connection and the making things feel easy and making things feel aligned and not forcing people to do things that are super out of their comfort zone. But getting some cool results.
People forward. That's what helps people navigate to move forward, because you've helped defragment the whole picture. And
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm interested to know, from a gold nugget perspective, on what you would advise someone, or you'd say to someone, or how would you help someone to kind of get started in, down that track, or is there any advice for somebody in business that is a little way in, they've got a bit of an idea, they don't maybe have a coach or a mentor? I'm a strong believer in, you have to have someone that's done something to some level that you're to get to where you can't. It's so hard to navigate it on your own. So
the two things I would probably say, the first one is exactly like you said, get a connection. And there's so much to be said, I think, for just putting yourself out there and getting putting your hand up. There was a couple of people when I was very early on, probably back in sort of January or so, that I thought, God, I love how they message. I love how they show up online. I love their videos, or I love how they style stuff, or I love their whatever. Even if it wasn't something I wanted to buy, if it was something that was kind of aspirational to me, and I would think, and I thought, oh God, that's so cool. I'll give you an example. The first girl, her name's Erin Lashley. You've probably seen her around the traps. She had a wellness coaching business, and I just loved I loved her website. I loved all of her graphics, all that sort of thing. I just sent her a message and I said, I hope this isn't sleazy, but I've got such a crush on you and your business because it's all gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I'm really flattered, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we've become really good friends. She's coming over for dinner tonight. And I know, right? This is like, we've been out for coffee a few times and we've seen each other at a few functions, and, we're online best buds. Yeah. And she's actually coming out for dinner tonight. So, it's just, you just don't know where things are going to end up. Like, we've never bought or sold anything to each other, and we probably never will. But it was just such a beautiful connection. And we're kind of, she's a little bit ahead of me in terms of her business and how long she's been doing it and that sort of thing. So, there's stuff that she can learn, but then she's also gone, she's got a job a couple of months ago. So she's kind of, putting it back on the shelf for a little while and then coming back into it. So in that sense, I'm ahead in the what's going on right now sort of thing. So we can both really help each other out. And every time that I've done that and I've thought, oh, she's going to think I'm totally weird if I send a message, and I've sent a message, something's happened. Like, both of you guys are saying the same thing. Both of you, I've talked to you in completely different contexts for completely different reasons over the last few months. And then now look where we are, and it's in this beautiful space. Yeah. Someone else who I did an avatar interview with back in, maybe October last year or something, that now we're doing a project together, which is going to be freaking amazing. I do some blogging for her, and she's, just incredible. So we're going to be starting a project next week. Wow. And just things that literally that I've just contacted them and gone, you are shit hot and I think you're amazing and I'm following you and I love it. And similarly, when people have done the same thing to me, like if I see someone that's always commenting, always liking on my stuff, I'll shoot them a message and say, hey, thanks for the blah, 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 and just open that communication. And just having those people when there's absolutely no intention of buying or selling from each other, and it's just a connection on a personal or something else level, it just means so much, So that's my first thing. What's my second thing? I can't even remember what I was going to say now. I get all ranty, don't I?
Well, that's right. You have to think about that, because I just want to refer that to, there's a lady that I interviewed that wrote a book called Do Talk to Strangers. And I love, even Indy said, I'm one of those introverts, an extrovert, because I feel this exactly the same about me. Like, I'm not an extrovert when I'm out, but I'm confident and I'm comfortable in an area that I know, but it doesn't mean that I kind of need to be the life of the party. But I connected with a lady who wrote a book, Do Talk to Strangers, and her whole premise is the fact that if you just make the effort and the time to make those connections, amazing the things that come out of it. Some connections are, it's just that moment and it's connection and that's it. And then other times,
other times you just meet the person that's going to be your business partner.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so true. It's so true. It's just, it's.
For that.
Yeah, that's right. We can. Funny. I believe everybody should just, it's that nugget of just take that one step outside what maybe is your comfort zone. It is a safer place online to be able to kind of reach out and make a connection, and you're not kind of meeting them for coffee and not knowing whether you like them. But if you've reached out, you know you probably resonate. But if you just message, you never know how that's how the first Eat and Greet happened. When I messaged the CEO of Your Inspiration at Home, I didn't even know she was the CEO when I was messaging with her. And then as we got chatting, she's like, "Oh yeah, do you know this company?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of it." And then I thought,
I just made it.
And then we end up interviewing her while we're in San Francisco and she's in Texas, and it's like, far out.
And
so cool.
And it's really it's totes awkward when you don't hit it off over coffee.
Exactly.
What else were you saying, Claire?
Did you think of that nugget?
What was your other nugget, Claire?
The other thing was about so something that I kind of found difficult, and I think a lot of people find difficult in this position, is bringing the family and your friends on board with what you're doing and that sort of thing. But I don't even really know what my advice is around that, except for hasten slowly and don't tell people if you don't want to tell people, but also to have, like, I guess it goes back to that connection. Once you've got that connection and you've got people in your corner who are also doing the same thing and get it, it gives you that confidence to kind of be like, no, I am doing the right thing and I'm on the right track, and like someone I have found a little bit difficult with the pressure about the finance stuff. Like, people just assume that, you're just doing your small business from home. Oh, here we go again. You're not going to make any money, blah, blah, blah. When actually they learn roughly what ballpark you're making, and they're like, oh, really? Oh. And then finally you sort of get a bit of credibility. But that for me has come way after I actually have given myself the credibility and gone, well, no, this is actually perfect. I'm exactly where I need to be, and I'm going to be bloody successful at this.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that. But I guess bringing other people sort of on board has been a bit of a challenge, and I think a lot of people feel the same thing, like either their partners or their parents or friends and that sort of thing. So you've got to have a good a group of people who are in the same sort of boat and ahead of you and at the same time as you and all that sort of thing, just to give yourself that sort of connection and support to own it.
Yeah, I agree.
We just had 2 shout-outs for Smart Chicks when you said that.
But I totally agree, because it becomes your family that's within that same vibe, totally understands exactly all that part. So that was a really good. Did you share that blog post the other day that was about all of that, and about just saying that, you can choose how much you do or don't say and even mention to your family and friends or whatever. Basically not say much about it at all. Like, why tell them kind of your goals and dreams if to them they're going to be like, oh yeah, like, how are you going to do that? Right, you're going to make money out of that? Blah. It's like, don't even go. Talk to the people that do have that excitement with them, and so that's why to reach out.
Like, it can kind of be funny when I say, oh, I'm doing like business coaching, I'm doing this, and they go, oh yeah, I did something like that once, and they'll tell you about something completely different to what you do, and they're like, yeah, that was really good. And you're like, that's what I do.
I've got like 5 years worth of conversations that I've had that I haven't had.
Seriously.
Okay, so tell us, Claire.
The course.
Yes. What course are you running, or what was the offer that you wanted to put out? Because obviously we're our Smart Chicks members, and they get a really super special offer. And Smart Chicks Coterie, which is our free Facebook page, links down below, we enable them to have access to you as well. It might not be the super special offer.
Yep, I've got 2. Don't worry.
Something. So, what have you got going?
Great.
Oh, this is so exciting. I've never even spoken this out loud. I haven't even put this in the Get With The Program group that I've been using to develop it.
Great.
So the program is called Pause for Effect. It's a 6-week online course, and we go through so the modules are we do like a big review and reflect of your business using we've got a workbook for the whole course. We do a review and reflect on your business, and it can be the last 6 to 12 months or from the beginning of time until now, whenever you want it to be. And then we do a bit of a gathering of your CV, so all of your transferable skills like I was talking about before. So that's kind of the intro to the other program, to work out exactly who you are, what your skills are, what your stuff is, what you do, all that sort of thing, and being okay with bringing all of that to the table. Then we do a bit of grounding and the big picture. So we draw the big picture, like you guys said, we draw it and we hang it in a place where we can actually see it every day and we know what we're working towards. And then we do some business hacks. So we go into a little bit about the tools and tricks and tech and, systems that you do and don't need, and get rid of the crap that you don't need and actually use and implement the ones that you do and plan on how you're going to upskill yourself in those areas. And then the last module is actually doing and then planning that whole process again. So it's always going to be a process, like 3 to 6 months. So, sorry, we've missed a module in there as well, which is your short-term plan. So I can't remember who said it, but there's a guy who said there's no point in doing, I think Richard Branson's a bit of a fan of it as well. He says you don't plan anything more than 90 days out because it's too far. There's too many variables. There's too much that's going to change in the next 90 days for you to do the rest of it. So we focus on the next 3 to 6 months and get really specific about what needs to happen every week and what needs to happen every day and all that sort of thing. And then we do it. So it's so exciting. It's so exciting. So it'll probably start at the end of September.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so it goes for 3 to 6 months, or how long does the course itself go for?
The course is 6 weeks. So it's a 6-week, so there'll be, it'll be through Thinkific, and there'll be like a training module, which I'm going to try and keep to 15 to 20 minutes. So it's not this huge long thing to sit down and listen to. And the workbook will be quite in depth, and I'm going to give the workbook in one hit rather than in dribs and drabs, because I would just rather people will be able to download it and be able to use the whole thing from the start. And then we'll have a live call once a week as well, just on Zoom or something like that. Or maybe try Webinar Ninja, but I haven't had a great deal of luck with them just yet, so we'll see. And so there's the workbook, the training modules, and the weekly calls. And I'm going to do a pilot program for everyone else. The pilot price will be $199. I'll do an early bird probably for $99. So for the Smart Chicks group, the Coterie will be $89, and for the members will be $79. $79. Yay!
Just effing do it.
Yeah.
Anna, whoa! She's like, whoa!
Yeah, that's awesome.
Crazy!
Oh my God, I'm so excited, Claire.
So am I. Oh my gosh. It's all coming together. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
My first online course.
And obviously Claire's promo will be up in the members lounge for you guys. We'll have a due date for that Claire will let us know. And then we'll also make sure to put that up in the promo Wednesday.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
And I was going to say something else as well. I just do want to do a bit of a plug, because Claire was actually the first person that we strategically aligned with as our first Australia-wide Smart Chicks collector.
Yeah.
So she's actually launching Brisbane on September 2nd, 2016 as well. And it looks like I'm going to be there. So that's really exciting as well. We've also got Kellyanne online today, I've just noticed.
Yes.
And she's going to be launching the Adelaide South the week after that.
That's right, and a few days later.
Really, really excited right now, Claire.
It's all happening. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wowzers. So what we're going to do, we'll log off, and thanks for a great lunch, everyone. And we might just keep the conversation going after this. Bye.